What's up guys, it's Rowan here from Artist Smart TV. And one of the things that I hear so often is students getting into exams and having freakouts, panic attacks, mental blanks. And so what I want to cover in this video is 5 things that you can do that will make a humongous difference in reducing the chances that you will get a panic attack or a mental blank in an exam. So let's jump in and let's look at the 5 things that you can do that will make a difference. So number 1, the first thing that you need to do, as basic as it might seem, is have a plan for your study. You know, often what happens is that the anxiety and the mental blanks and the panic attacks are a result of not feeling confident that you haven't done enough to be fully prepared for that exam or assessment. So planning in advance and making sure that you're actually getting work done consistently prior is going to mean that when you turn up for the exam, you're going to feel so much more confident that you're going to be less likely to have a panic attack. And the simple thing that you can do to plan is to write a to-do list. Like, it doesn't have to be fancy, just for your subject, for that exam, get a piece of paper and a pen out now, and I want you to just do a brain dump. Dump everything you think you need to do to prepare for that exam down on that piece of paper. Because by getting it out of your head, putting it on the page, it's going to help you start actually creating some urgency to working through that list so that you're better prepared for your exam when it actually arrives. So strategy number 2 is a really simple strategy, and it's get lots of sleep the night before. Now, you hear it all the time, but here's a really powerful reason why it's important. If you don't sleep for 17 to 19 hours, your cognitive performance the next day is the equivalent of turning up drunk. That's right, your cognitive performance is the same as being over the blood alcohol limit. And so that's just going to mean that you're not going to be at your best game, and it can mean that you can freak out, panic, not think clearly when you see questions. So please, whatever you do, it's simple. Your parents are probably telling it to you all the time, but it's so important. Get a good, solid amount of sleep the night before your exam, because it's going to help you stay cool, calm, and collected in the exam the next day. Now, the third strategy to stay cool and calm and not get anxious in your exam is a simple one, and that's to avoid friends that freak you out. You know, we've all got them. We've all got those friends that just know everything, and when you speak to them, they tell you all this stuff and you realize you don't know anything, and then you're freaking out and you go into the exam and you're not confident. So, simple solution. Just avoid them. Now, you know, they might be a bit confused, so just let them know, look, hey, before the exam, I've got to get into the right headspace, and this means that I'm going to just go away and I don't want to speak. You know, it's not that I'm not your friend, it's just I can't speak to you before this exam. So avoid the people that freak you out. It's a really simple way to just make sure that you're not put off your game and you're not starting to already get a little anxious before you go in to that exam room. So number 4, whatever you do the morning before your exam, you know, immediately before you're walking in, do not, I repeat, do not study your notes before. All it's going to do is freak you out. It's going to tell you what you don't know, and that's the worst thing you can do, because if you find out what you don't know before an exam, what happens? You freak out, you start, getting stressed, you start getting anxious, and so you're not going to be able to stay calm before the exam. And it's more likely that you're going to walk into that exam and you're going to get a mental blank or a panic attack and not do as well as you know you could. So it's counterintuitive, but number 4 is don't look at your study notes immediately before the exam. It's really, really important if you want to stay calm and confident for that exam. Now, number 5, my 5th suggestion to help you stay calm prior to going into one of your exams is to have a plan for the exam. Now, I know this sounds ridiculous, but, and basic, but let's think about this. If you were to go somewhere new for the first time and you didn't have a map and you had to get there in the car, I'm imagining you'd be freaking out because you'd be super nervous about what you're taking the right pathway, the right road, the right turn. Am I going to get there on time? It could be really, really stressful. And so the same thing applies for an exam. If you don't have a plan for your exam, when you get into that exam, you're going to have a freak out equally about, well, what do I do? Do I do this in this order? And how long does it take? And so a plan's really important. So what I want you to do is the 5th and final strategy is the night before your exam, I want you to sit down, I want you to write out really, really clearly what you're going to do in terms of how you're going to tackle that exam the next day. What order you're going to tackle the paper, chronologically or otherwise, how long you're going to spend on each part, so that way you can get confident in knowing exactly what you're going to do the next day when you sit down for that exam. So guys, there you have it, the 5 things that you can do that will make a huge difference in reducing the likelihood that you get a panic attack or anxious or even get a mental blank in your exam. I'd love to hear about which strategy you found has helped you reduce those mental blanks in exams, so leave a comment below. Finally, hit the subscribe button. All right, hit the little bell to get notified. We're bringing videos every single week. Until next week, I'll see you then.